All right, ladies and gentlemen of D-Class personnel, go ahead and sit down. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Commander and I'm going to be briefing you on the SCP you're about to go study. So what we're looking at today, SCP-6202, Object Class Euclid, Special Containment Procedures. SCP-6202 is currently inhabiting an abandoned townhouse which has been bought off, concealed from the public under the cover story of an unfinished transformation of the building into a museum. All walls leading to the exterior have been covered in 2 centimeter thick polyethylene high-density fiber with 5 centimeter thick panels of the same material covering all doors and windows. Drainage and ventilation systems have been sealed as well. A sterilization chamber has been installed at the entrance of the building with an air purification system installed outside. Ingress is currently restricted with the exception of the cleaning crew in charge. All personnel entering the building must wear full hazardous materials protective equipment. Extreme care must be taken to not make direct contact with any SCP-6202 specimen. All personnel must be quarantined and tested for contaminants regardless of contact for a period of no less than 16 hours following egress. Infected personnel will have their compromised organs removed and returned to the townhouse. If this cannot be accomplished without them dying, the infected will be returned to the townhouse in full. Only if heavy resistance is shown can the subjects be terminated. Their remains left inside the building. Description: SCP-6202 is the collective designation of 617 pieces of furniture contained within an abandoned townhouse in Porto Alegre, Portugal. The appearance of most furniture is reminiscent of traditional 17th century decor, with almost all pieces presenting moderate to heavy decay. All instances of SCP-6202 are fully composed of human tissue, despite being visually indistinguishable from their normal counterparts, specifically hardened epithelial layer mimicking. Inside this layer is an assortment of organs and tissues that varies in each instance. While nearly identical to human organs in structure, they seem to lack function, missing their connective tissues, vessels, and nerves. These structures can still be present in some, but serve no apparent function. Although these instances are biological in nature, they don't appear to be able to metabolize energy, with all cells composing them appearing in a state of stasis. Despite this state, all SCP-6202 instances constantly generate a thin layer of tissue, majorly composed of epidermis, adipose tissue, nerve fibers, and arachnoid matter. This matter spreads through pores on the epithelial layer of each instance. This generates cobweb-like structures that cover both SCP-6202 instances and the area around them. These structures require bi-weekly removal as their spread will fully cover the building within the space of a month. Any person coming into contact with any SCP-6202 instance or any of the tissue they generate will be infected, their cells multiplying due to unknown triggers, generating cancerous growths that soon begin to phagocyte previous cells. This process lasts anywhere from 5 days to 2 weeks, with the victim's body morphing into a new SCP-6202 instance. Total removal of infected tissue will stop this process. Once the new SCP-6202 instance is generated, it will begin moving towards other instances. This movement generates skin flakes and can cause further infection. All SCP-6202 instances react negatively to any attempt at removing them from the building, grouping together and producing tissue at a much faster rate. Any damage caused to them quickly regenerates through unknown methods. The cobweb-like tissue they secrete does not possess this ability. Discovery: SCP-6202 came into Foundation custody in 1992 after the Academia Científica do Anomalo merged into it. The anomaly in turn was obtained from the Instituto Nacional de Ciências Paranormais, a precursor of the Academia, active during the Second Portuguese Republic, which, as you guys know, 1926 to 1968, if you need that kind of specific fucking information. No information seems to exist about the building before 1946, however, despite its architecture and decay, indicating it was built sometime probably during the 1910s. Research obtained by the Instituto Nacional de Ciências Paranormais was lost upon its disbandment, leading to the infection and loss of 18 people upon initial contact. All previous knowledge regarding the anomaly comes from several written entries found etched into an SCP-6202 instance in the shape of a journal in 1971. These I'll go ahead and read for you. They were originally written in Portuguese, but as it was switched over to, filed under Addendum 62021, they've been translated into English. So I'll go ahead and read these for you. The test subjects began arriving this morning. Most are farmers and pastors, although we've met with writers and politicians as well. Most of them are familic, malnourished, covered in bruises. Laura tried to offer some water, but was stopped by the armed men accompanying them. When we were told there were anomalous subjects willing to be studied, we expected this would be the case. I thought I would be better prepared, but I'm not. I'm afraid of whether I'll ever be. We must start work soon. Members of the PVDE will come in 2 days to take away those who do not possess anomalous traits. They won't tell me where, and honestly, I prefer it that way. I don't know what the end plan is here, but I fear this is but the beginning. Most of the people here speak Usera. I don't understand it, but I've heard it before. The soldiers, meanwhile, speak proper Spanish and work under Caudillo himself, which means we work under him too. It begs the question, are we bending our knee to the Spaniards? We've all heard the rumors of this planned invasion of his unified Iberia, of his meetings with the Chancellor, as Germany bombards Paris, yet none of us thought there was any weight to it. It appears we were wrong. Here's the next entry. Now, there was a line that was written that was crossed out. I'll go ahead and read that for you. This is the crossed out portion. They've been killing those who served us no purpose. I thought this would be most likely the case, but even the children were rounded up. And then after that, we have some writing that hasn't been crossed out. I'll go ahead and read that. We've never advanced so much in terms of investigating the paranormal. Even if only a small percentage of the people brought to us can make use of that which lies beyond normality, it's much more than what we'd worked with before, what I had worked with at the very least. Just today, an old man arrived, capable of bending flesh at will. He's been taken from Visaria. He's been taken from Visacia among the rest of his people. They were brought in by different groups of people this time, soldiers who seemed better prepared for the anomalous. They told us that this old man was the spiritual leader of his group and that we should be careful. They refused to elaborate further. Always a good sign. Here's the next entry. His name is Arasentin. At least that's what they call him. I believe it's some sort of title. The man speaks of freedom for the destitute, of a future where the Roma and the Basque and the people of Catalonia and Andalusia will have a place in the world they call home. Everyone's begun listening to him as if he was the second coming of the Redeemer. I'm starting to understand why the guards are not too fond of him. Here's the next entry. I don't get it. We've dealt with canomancers before, but Arasentin is different. His cell division, it's not a virus, a mutation prion. His powers they just are, and we don't have the equipment to prove or disprove otherwise. He says it's a blessing, a gift from the fake gods he prays to. We've been warned that this is the kind of talk he'd give and the kind of talk we should ignore, but I cannot help but wonder if there's some weight to it. He does exude the aura of a prophet, and the words he and the rest speak, can I even say they're wrong? All they want is to recover the... Listen, I need to get more sleep. Maybe I'll ask for a soundproof room to stay in. The chance of Arasentin's followers are really starting to get to me. Here's the next entry. Today we learned that Arasentin can bring back the deceased. A group was fussilated yesterday, for lack of a better term. Moments after which the old man walked past the guards. They tried to stop him, but were shoved aside with a single flick of the wrist. Veins and nerves shot out towards the limp bodies. In minutes, they were walking again, as if nothing had occurred. This was not an act of necromancy. This was something else entirely. I've started to notice that there are less guards on duty as of late. I've asked around, and all I receive are empty stares. Are they preparing for something? Here's the next entry. Laura and 2 others left for Lisbon. I don't blame them. I'd do the same if this wasn't the place I was raised in. It seems the PVDE is falling apart at the seams too. Today, We had but half the guard of last time. Franco's men have taken on the guarding duty, but it only has made the men more wary. Vines made of sinew and fat entwining like licorice now travel under the carpeted floor, sealing doors and windows when needed. Most people have sided with the old man by now, begun digging up corpses to bring more warriors back to life. Nobody even stops them. Even if we still do our research, this is not our place anymore. We've lost control. I know they were planning a revolution. I can see it in their eyes, hear it in their voices. But I didn't think it would be this fast. I did not think it would be this effective. Here's the next entry. Not all is lost. Last night, Dr. Mulhausen arrived to help. We have a plan involving the techniques of Vigas Moniz to control the unruly. I have my fears that the old man will simply scoff at the move. If he can revive the dead, can we even accomplish something this way? Still, I hold on to the hope that we'll be able to reclaim the house. If this goes wrong, the Spaniards will have to intervene. They'll take the place I call home and transform it into something different, something hideous. I understand why this must happen, but I will not give everything up because of it. War will not taint these lands. And that was the last of the entries. Now, analysis of the pages have led to the discovery of at least 45 genetic profiles, 64% of them containing haplotypes specific to people of the Alejandro region. This percentage contrasts heavily with the 8,571 genetic profiles gathered from the remaining SCP-6202 instances, which shows 77% of the profiles are specific to Romani, Basque, Andalusian, and Aragonian ethnic groups. Only 11% of these profiles have been linked with known victims of Francisco Franco's White Terror. Only 7 other profiles have been linked with known disappearances during Portugal's Estado Novo period. The rest remain unidentified. Despite implications, no SCP-6202 instance emits electrical signals despite the tissue they generate having consistently activated nociceptors. Evidence of sapience remains inconclusive. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that was SCP-6202. You are dismissed.